What's up? How's it going? Got a bit of a fringe thing going there. Right, who have we got? Let's have a look. Hi, Herring, how you doing? And, Enzo, what's happening? We could do some chords today, why not? We can start them. We can start doing chords of the major scale. How about that? Good day, mate. Homo day, so I can catch the start of the stream for a change. Brilliant. Well, it's great to have you here. Nice and early in the morning. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to adjust this window here so I can see what I'm doing. And I need to drink my coffee whilst I plan today, because I haven't planned today. I just called it a studio stream. So we'll do chords. So I can go and show you a bit of what I know about chords. Hi, Stelly, how you doing? But yes, lots of exciting things I want to do on the studio sessions, and there's just like it's like packing everything in that I want to do into the time, because I'm keen. I love I love playing guitar. Guitar's amazing. I love performing guitar. I love live looping. I love I really like but I love strong. But I really like teaching, right? Because that's massively helped me. Because the reason with this whole teaching thing and sitting on the lives, obviously I want to help everybody. But actually, believe it or not, what I'm doing is I'm practicing as well, and it's just a great way to sort of develop your presenting skills. But one thing I notice when you're teaching somebody, right, and it happens out of the blue, like Thomas will go, "Oh, what was that lick? Play that lick. Show everybody that lick or something on a live." And I think this is quite a common thing I've seen. Is then what will happen is you'll fall apart, and the reason you fall apart is because you're not in self 2 anymore. You're not in the flowy kind of state that you were in, because what you're having to do is you're having to talk, edit what you're saying, communicating to the people, and then you're actually also having to perform at the same time. So it's very and describe something. So it's very, very difficult to do. So the doing the teaching thing, it's really allowing me to experience self one in a controlled way, which again I find very, very interesting. And so anyway, that kind of whole showing people things in front of a camera, it's like, all right, there's a gaping hole in my skill set. Better fix that, because I'm in playing guitar for good now, and that's it. I had some time out doing dance music and things, but guitars definitely, absolutely love it. And I've got plans for my progression this year to just keep going and double down on it all. So, having said that, there's the teaching, there's the improvise, and there's the live looping, general talking about guitar tech things on the channel. But I mustn't forget coaching, because I'm sitting here and I'm a trained coach. I got trained by one of the best coaches actually in the world, a guy called Mike Monday. And bumping into a lead there. Got this cool little light, and I just, it's a detail on this channel. I just kind of have it there. Just splashing a bit of light out onto my coffee cup, and the highlights there, you see. Attention to detail. So I mustn't forget about the reason that I kind of set up the channel, and that was a couple of things to make music, and to make my own music, and also coaching to help other people overcome their creative problems. Okay. And I must say, right, I'll come back to that in a minute. Yes. So one of the most important things is just making sure that we have our connection with the world sorted, and that we are making and, well, starting and finishing music and getting it out there and making a connection in some way. And it can, you can be making music, you can be making and finishing music, you can be doing a live stream, but the important thing is we want to be kind of getting ourselves out there. And if music's the thing, then, as you know, I have a couple of coaching groups people can join and learn how to make tons of music. So there's a whole sort of like method there called the Automatic Music Making Machine, which is a framework where the creative process is modularized. Very similar to how Rick Rubin approaches his music and his way of producing. But anyway. What's up? Ready for those chords? Good. I'm glad we are getting ready for the. Oh, answer that one. Good morning. Where am I? All right, on. Yep, nice and early in the morning, 5 a.m. Yes. 5 p.m. I should say. Get my eyes tested. I'm reading this off a prompter now. Anyone owning an Intel-based Mac that supports Sequoia upgrade, you'll be surprised. I was going to say suppressed. Right. Clean chords for the demonstration, correct. Teaching always helps us just as much as if not. Right, good. Cool. You've been doing a brilliant job, thank you. Well, that's good. I need some more of my coffee. All right then. Also did major studio upgrade. I attached the guitar strap. Now, I did this, right, because I don't know. I'll have to get a better strap though, because I don't like the look of it. But anyway, the reason I've done that, and I'll probably be fiddling with the height of it. But the reason I've put a strap on the guitar is because when I'm moving over to Ableton, it's like really precariously like balanced on me, and it's like gonna fall off my lap. So that's like one thing. Because the one thing using the push in Ableton is I need to get to the fixed length button, and there's not an easy way to do that, unfortunately. Right, plug the guitar in. First thing. Second thing, move my chat window here. And then get my other window there. Right, we're making progress. Okay, looking good. Looking good. See how I get on with a strap on, eh? Right, tune. Okay, so chords. Let's have a think. And I think one way we can do this is we can just have a look at the chords diatonically. Okay, so the first thing that I would learn when doing chords, right, is this. is simply we just need to harmonize the major scale, okay? And then we just need to add our chords to it. So in other words, you know, basically we're going to build triads, okay? And what you end up with is this. So we'll start off and we'll have, you know, C major. I know it's very basic, this. D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, oh, B diminished, back to C. Okay, so we can learn those chords first, right? And you can learn them sort of all over the fretboard. You can get chord diagram, books, things like that. But fundamentally, what we want to know about is the relationship between these chords, okay? We want to know basically that it's a scale of chords. And one of the cool things about this, right, is you can just take any three chords, right, and kind of start making some sort of musical thing out of it, yeah? Okay. So this is really basic. As a lead player, this is something I always fall behind on. I think, yeah, I mean, I'm a bit like that, to be fair. However, you know, so we've got these chords, so you can take, you know, different, like for example, like a really popular sort of chord progression that you'll hear a lot in pop music, maybe something like a movement from sort of like the minor to say the Lydian, okay? So we know when we're thinking about modes that A is where the natural minor, like the natural minor, the Aeolian mode is. So if we start with an A minor chord, and we finish with an A minor chord, we know that's going to be the Aeolian, yeah? And there, I'm just simply playing, I'll pull the camera up a little bit. I'm just simply playing A minor, F major, D major. Okay, and making a dead simple chord progression. That's all it is. But then what you can do, right, is you can modulate with inside the mode. So there's Aeolian. Okay. Then what we could do is we could pick another mode. So I'm picking the Lydian. Now the Lydian, and I'm using the mode names because of the classification of them. So we know that the Lydian has that sharp 4 sound. It's exactly the same as a major scale. There's only that one little augmented type of interval going on, yeah? But it can sound pretty cool along with the natural minor, the Aeolian. So a bass section could be this. Or a chorus. Okay. So using these chords, or C, or we could go this way, we can go C, you know, you use cowboy chords, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor. Oops, I've cheated. Flat 5, 7, B diminished, C major. And that gives us our basic chords. And we can pick any sort of, I mean, I'll tell you what, just shout me some notes in C major. We'll make them into the chords and we'll see. I want 3 notes that I can make into chords from C major, and we'll see if it makes a good chord progression. Does somebody want to just type in the chat just 3 of the notes from C major? And if you can remember the actual chords, great. If not, don't worry about it. I'll harmonize it up. And if we can have a couple of those, that would be really good, because then we can see what happens when we modulate between, say, 2 different chord progressions. But I need you to type into the chat. I don't mind waiting. Is there anybody there? Oh no, there's probably a delay, isn't there? So I need 3 notes. C major, all right, there we go. Whew. Right. C major, E minor, B diminished. Okay, so all right, then we'll go to Enzo's. Back to hippies. All right, so those 2 progressions work really well. I mean, personally, I probably wouldn't have chosen the B diminished, unless actually, unless it was just a quick sort of passing chord. But I think I stayed on it too long there. But anyway, so there we've got 2 progressions that work all right. So even though hippies is in sort of a major key, it's got quite a dark feel, hasn't it? So I'm going to change that B diminished to an F. And then Enzo's is kind of working. Just the notes will do. You don't have to give me the chords. I'll just worked it out there. So there we've got 2 examples of chord progressions that we can use within the key of C major. I know these are painfully basic, but I think it's important we get the foundations right before we extend things, all right, a little bit, harmonically speaking. So I'll give you some ideas. Okay. Let's work on these chord progressions. So the next thing we can do, right, is we can start extending them, all right? So what we can have is now, when we look at our scale, we can have C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, A minor 7, B flat 5 7. So this is the start of getting more of a jazzy feel, isn't it? So this is Hippie's progression. I changed one chord. And I'll put in the B flat 5 7 right at the end of it. How about that? Then we're all happy. And then we can go to Enzo's. So now we've got the minor 7, G, oh sorry, I was doing a major 7, it's a dominant 7. Beg your pardon. Alright, do that again. It's funny that because my brain's automatically wired to avoid that and make it that or something else. I've never been that keen on a 7th sound. Unless I'm playing that kind of thing. Okay, well, we're following along. So we've got our 2 progressions there, which is great because you've actually, you've wrote a song. You could stick these down and we could jam over them, couldn't we? So after this, you can just start messing with the voicings of chords just to make them sound more melodic, okay? And you'll have personal kind of preferences on how you kind of do things, but feel free to add or take away notes, all right? Because you're always going to come up with a chord. And I don't think, like, people will say, like, there are certain rules, like, you shouldn't do, like, I think, like, doubling major thirds up and things like that, because it can sound too dominant over a chord sound. So there are kind of rules, but, I mean, I don't worry about the rules. Guitar's a funny beast, how chords come across, and what I would recommend is if the chords sound good to you, then it's going to be fine, so just go with it. Break the rules. So we can start getting little kind of melodies in there. So one thing I really like doing is when I take a C major 7 chord, is actually just lifting my 4-finger off and actually end up with this sort of G major chord with a slash chord with C in the bass. Almost like a C suspended second. So that's quite nice. Okay, so there's just little ideas that you could experiment with. Okay. Any questions so far? I'm hoping... All right, there might be one here. I'm hoping this is helping. All right, how about A minor, B diminished, yeah? C major, D minor. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. But the main throw of this, apart from just starting to extend chords, is that we can, you know, we're thinking about the scale and we're pulling out, you know, two different chord progressions and seeing how they sound modulating. So effectively, we've got quite a good idea here, and interesting, where we've got Hippie's progression sounds more like a verse, and Enzo sounds more like a chorus. And pretty much you got your instrumental there. You can go ahead and sort of play those things, can't you? I could easily just, like, you know, I mean, I'm tempted to go and start building a track now with this on just to demonstrate, but I'm gonna stick with the lesson and just stick on guitar for now. We can do that at a later date because I've had another idea to reinforce what we're learning here. So I suppose, like, one thing we do need to know about chords is how they're constructed. Okay, so basically, what we have is we'll have the major scale. Okay, and basically our chords are constructed off this. So a major chord or a major triad, okay, is just the first and the third and the fifth notes played of that of the C major scale. And now if we're thinking about the numbering system as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What we need to know is we need to know, like, all of these numbers, because there's a few more that are hidden away, okay? So we have root, or 1, and then we have the major second, okay? But the major second is also the ninth. As you know, it's one of my favourite notes, the ninth. So we have the ninth, we have the third, and we have the fourth, you know, like when you got suspended fourth chords, but it's also the 11th. So if you're not sure of these, write them down and just commit them to memory. We have the fifth, just always the fifth. We have the sixth, it's a major sixth. But also the major sixth is the 13. And then we have the major 7. So second is also the 9. The fourth is also the 4th and the 11th. And the 6th is the 6th and the 13. Alright, so that's how we access the higher extensions, okay? So major scale, major chord, okay? Or triad is just root, 1, 3, 5. Minor is 1, flat 3. So we think of, like, the scales, you know, and how we were flattening and sharpening notes. So it's only one note difference. Major, C major, flatten that third, becomes minor. Major, minor. So it's really sort of easy to kind of extend chords. And, you know, at the end of the day, when we're just playing a basic chord, it's just those notes stacked up on top of each other. But when we're extending, it's just simply, you know, if we want a major 7 chord, root, 3rd, 5th, major 7. And then we just got to work a way of being able to play all these notes, you know. So what we could have is this. So I'm putting the G there, and the B is open. Or commonly, we can start swapping notes round. Okay, so instead of playing the third here, because that's awkward, and sometimes we don't want the third on the lower strings too close to the root, because it can sound muddy in the human ears. You know, in certain frequency ranges, the human ear struggles to pick out detail. So sometimes it makes sense to put the more important extensions higher up. So we can bounce up the third up an octave, and we get this. So we get now root, fifth, major 7, and then the third. The quite trendy voicing I hear is this. And that's basically that kind of thing. That's a major 7 chord, but we've taken out the 5th. Hi, Brantron. How are you doing? I'm wondering if you're new to the channel or not. But it's great to have you on here. So, good old shell voicings, yes. So, I'm glad somebody knows the terminology. Brilliant. Okay, so I'll just get my thing up so I can say hello to Brantron properly. Hi, how you doing, mate? So basically, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Okay. So just going through some chord basics as requested. All right. So, okay. Extending the chords. So up to our major 7 now. Sorry if you already know this. But let's say like and sub, there you go. So if we wanted to make a 9th, okay, we know that the 2nd is the 9th, yeah? But we just need to find the octave for it. Put it up here. Now we can't play every single note, so we do have to compromise on how we voice things at times. So you might end up with voicing like this. Oh good, I'm glad this is your topic. Okay, if we want to extend up to an 11, okay, we can do that. So I've sharpened the 11, because it's really hard to get to, and also it sounds a bit rubbish. Yeah, so you can mix like triads as well. I do a lot of that in my lead playing, like stacking stuff. Yeah, so I do like doing that. So yeah, so we've got, so now we've extended up to an 11. And we'll just keep going, get up to a 13. Let me have a look. Well, like that with that D in. So you can just kind of keep going, adding the extensions and messing with the voicings till you kind of get to where you want to be, really. But I think one thing to bear in mind is it's down to like personal preference. Okay, what you're doing. So there's like major 6th with a 9th. Got the 6th here. But I could put it up there. So that's how we can extend things. A lot of the time when I'm playing chords, I'll extend things up to, 7s and 9s all the time. Yeah, the 6s are a lost art. Definitely are. So. So, there's some chord stuff to start with. Any questions, anybody? E triad over a C. Augmented. No. Yeah, so I very rarely venture into melodic minor, Branton. I'm getting the vibes that you're sort of into your jazz fusion. So I've started pulling from fusion in my lead playing. Like, chromatic enclosures, that kind of stuff. Generally adding chromaticisms in there. Any questions? What else do people want to know about chords? Any tips on sweep picking? All right. Any tips on sweep picking? Have you done any sweep picking at all? And is there a particular problem that you're facing? So, sweep picking. So, suppose if you're just starting out doing your sweep picking, I mean, actually, I should do like a whole kind of lesson on this. But I think like one thing is sort of the picking angles, right? So you tend to have like a downward slope slant and an upward coming back down. But have you got a more specific question? So playing Sweet Pack and Fast. First thing, I would be able to just be able to pick all the notes. So you've got that dynamic, as well as hammering on as many as you can. Now I prefer the hammer on method, just sounds more cleaner and it's more fluid to me. But one sort of like cool tip that I like is what I'll do is I'll just do hammer-ons when I'm kind of descending. So in other words, we'll do like a G major 9 arpeggio. So I'll pick, hammer, pick, hammer, pick, hammer. And then I'll just pull off. And it's all like hammers from nowhere and pull-offs. Pull off, hammer from nowhere, pull off, hammer from nowhere, pull off. So I do love that sound of just the pull-offs and the hammers from nowhere. So that's a really handy technique. But also you want to like accent notes as well, so if you're doing a group of 4 descending, you want to do that. Another way I've really been enjoying playing arpeggios is actually with a hybrid. So you're like actually sweeping just 2 notes and hybriding. So there's like just one hybrid pick in that. So that just gives you a different sort of flavour really. Yeah, angle the pick. So the picking angles still apply. So there's an exercise, right? I'll just take you through, which is an absolute right. This is like hard, so you're probably not gonna thank me for it, right? But it's a good one, okay? Okay, I don't practice this all the time, but what we'll do that G major 7 arpeggio, is I'm picking, we're sweeping all the notes and everything's picked, right? So the first thing is 2 notes per string, just start with an upstroke. So that's tip 1. So we're going to go up, and then we're going to go down. The first 4 notes of this G major 9 arpeggio. So that's your first bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to ascend in groups of 4 on each point of the arpeggio going up. So your next part is you're going to actually string skip. You're going to jump from this first finger on the 11th fret of the G string to the 3rd on the B there with the 4th finger. So how fast you can play that string skip really dictates how fast you're going to be able to play this particular lick. Okay, so up, down, 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 up, And then we're going to go down, down, up. It's really hard. So you can have a slight rotation to get back there so you don't get trapped. Okay, next bit. Now this is why it's hard, right? It's because on this section here, it's alternately picked and it's inside motion. Every guitarist's nightmare. Well, maybe not everybody, but... So the next part of the arpeggio, I've got second finger on the D note on 12, first finger, the 11th fret. We're picking that A note on the 14th. On the B string, we've got the 12th fret, the note B. Okay. Nasty. Okay. We're going to continue. So, getting a little bit easier. All right, we've got an upstroke, down, down, down. So ascending. And then downstroke. We're going to come back down. So you got that nasty bit there. So down, up, 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 down, up, down, up. Down, up, 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 down, up, up, down. And there you go. Brilliant exercise. Certainly one of my micro practices that I forget about. See, I just like, what I'll do is I'll just descending, something like that. I'm just going to put pull-offs in it wherever I can. And my chosen way of playing fourths ascending on an arpeggio is just to hybrid it. Because I just want an easy time and enjoy myself and be in flow when I'm improvising. Bratron, great, you've got it. Right, okay. Enzo's asking about the melodic minor. Possibly not today, as I hardly ever use it, and I'll be stumbling all over the place going, I mean, I mess with the melodic minor, but I never use it. So, yeah, I'm not, like, sure at this point. I keep, it's funny though, because I keep, you know, the I keep hearing the altered scale, and I think, oh mate, shall I? But then I just think it'll be far too. Then if I do that, it's like, oh, which is a fusion playing or I'm not, and I'll know I'll just, oh, yeah, I haven't got the passion for it. That's what it is, which is really important because, like for me, from a coaching point of view, the times when I really double down on learning music, right, is maybe a couple of reasons. One, I'm super interested in that particular thing, and I'm just like really want to know more about it because I see endless possibilities creatively that I can use that particular thing for. Or it's to do with a problem that I'm having that needs to be addressed. Now, the thing is, as musicians, and this applies to, I think, honestly, I think this is the number one reason that sort of my playing's like, been rapidly progressing, is simply because I'm only addressing the problems that I'm actually having at the time. So, as I always say, it's like when I'm doing the McLaughlin and Hutch lives, that's probably my biggest gig, right? And do that like vaguely once a fortnight, which is brilliant. And then I'll watch bits back of that live show when I'm playing, and I'll just assess where I'm having problems, with technique, with ideas, and I'll write a list of things that I need to work on, which means I've got to do that. I haven't done that yet this week. So I'll write a list of, it's the wins, problems, and opportunities. So I'll always write the wins, what went well, and then I'll really start diving deep into all the problems that I was having on that particular gig. Write a list, and then the skill is to then prioritize which is the number one problem. So you identify that, and then that's the thing that I'm going to spend the week kind of hammering at. And I might have like 3 of those problems, and I'll devise exercises to sort of overcome them. If it's an improvisational thing or a particular key I was struggling in, then I'll start whenever I'm improvising, I'll start like with that key till I get comfortable with it. If it's a lick, then I'll kind of assess like what was going wrong between the right and left hands. So, you come up, once you've got the problems, you can come up with all these different options for it. And that gets really exciting. So even if it's like when it's problems that you might have, it becomes a bit of a chore to me. I'm like, oh, do I have to work on this? Well, if the problem happens, but I'm not experiencing the problem, so I don't feel that I need it, at that particular time. So focusing on the problems that you are experiencing, to me, is the way to really put the nitrous oxide into your guitar development, because you're going to be keen. All right, you're going to be excited. You're going to really, really want to upgrade those skills because you can see what the benefits will be in the future, because it's supported by hard evidence of not being able to do something that you wanted to do. Yeah. Now, that idea completely extends. Where I got that from was from all of my sort of music coaching with musicians making music, like when we're making music in our doors, we've got limitless possibilities. Okay, making a piece of music when you sat in front of your computer, you've got every kind of EQ, you've got absolutely everything at your disposal, right? And the decisions just become too overwhelming. We've got YouTube where everybody's just basically saying, if you're not doing this, you're not doing it properly. So in short, they're trying to fix problems that you haven't already experienced. And what we need to do is we need to look at the problems that we're already having and address those, okay? That's the way we need to do it. That way, we're always supporting the creativity, okay, and the creative output of what you're doing. So that's really, really important, I mean, obviously, there's, you can go for master classes and things like that on an area because you're interested in. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I'm very wary, and I do see this a lot, where people will have the templates absolutely overloaded with like instruments and EQs and things they're just like not using at all. And they're there because they might need to use them. And by doing that, it adds like a cognitive load to your creativity and slows you down. So always deal with the problems that you are experiencing, okay? Right, you're into what you're doing 15 minutes ago, right? Excellent. Right, okay. So many people don't like to face what they're not good at yet when they practice. Right, well, we're meant to sound crap when we're practicing, but we do need, as I say, we do need to practice for a reason because we've identified a problem that is stopping us achieving our overarching goal. So being clear on what you want to do also really, really helps. I think what I always say is we need to embrace problems, okay? So many people don't like to face what they're not good at yet. That's like not good at yet, and that's kind of sums out how people think. I'm not good at this particular thing, and it's a very sort of big, overwhelming, broad problem to tackle. I think I need coffee. But what we need to do is we need to break the problems down small. And the other thing we need to do is we need to look at problems with excitement. Because if you overcome that problem, okay, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're a bad person because you've got this problem. It's just a problem, okay? And solving problems creates new knowledge. Simple as that. And that's David Deutsch, the physicist, philosopher, and brain the size of a planet, okay, says. I totally believe it. And I've lived by that for a number of years and had massive improvement in my playing, okay? Is now, and this is especially from a coaching point of view, I ask people, what problems have you encountered? And I want people to look at problems like, all right, this is cool. So all I need to do is write down what my problems are, okay? And then come up with multiple options on how you can solve that. And at that point, you might be able to then go on YouTube and then at least you'll know what you're looking for, at least to solve your problem that you are experiencing at the time. And if you keep solving those problems, that's how you're going to progress. And as you're solving those problems, that will lead on to other interests, guaranteed. So at some point, I know at some point, it'll probably be like, oh, let's have a look. Like, I learned the melodic minor scale when I was at college, uni. But I didn't really know. I wasn't really into particularly jazz. I wasn't really using it. Why was I learning it? I was just piling time into something, which, was there some benefits to that? I'm not really sure. I just never use it, right? To do with my kind of style, right? Maybe if I was playing jazz standards in a restaurant, things like that, I'd probably need that melodic minor. But I had no intention of doing that. I wanted to be a rock star. So I was only really focused on what was going to make me unique in my playing at that time. So solving your problems, that's going to help you also make you into that unique artist, because it's going to be defined by the music that you're playing over and the music that you're writing as well. I'm still playing with the chord building tips you were showing. Pretty handy, yeah. My problem is, I think I can play better if I have a new guitar now. I own 9 guitars and I have 0 skills. Yeah. So I think it's like one of those coaching things, right? You can go, all right, so how would you, out of 10, how would you rate your guitar that you play? And then how would you rate your skills? And then why is there a difference? I think, it, yeah, I mean, it's a whole thing. But one thing's for sure is we consume too much. I mean, the music industry complex, it's churning out plugins, it's churning out guitars. It's like, buy this, buy that, you'll get these advantages, and especially with us males, the hunter killer instinct kicks in, and we want those tools, don't we, to be the best. It just plays upon us. But we don't need that. What we do need is we need to just concentrate on our skills. New gear is inspiration for a short while. Can be. Got a dip. Are you on? Yeah, I am on IG. I don't bother with it too. I do put the odd thing on there, Brantron. But I'm also in the band McRocklin and Hutch. I probably haven't put this in the description when I think, so I just did it just before I went to bed last night. So I'm in my band McRocklin and Hutch as well. And what is my IG? Have a look. What am I called? Tim Hutch UK. That's my IG account. So I do the odd thing, bit of shredding on there and stuff. Yeah, I'm 38 years and I play something, but I'm not good as I would like to play. So, what could the strategy be to improving? Right. Everyone needs to go out and buy Beyonce's new album since it's album of the year. God. Excellent. Thank you for the follow. Have a good one. Thank you, Brantron. Right. I'm off. I hope the rest of your day is excellent. Yeah, thanks, Arch Projection. Been great having you on here. So back to this. I'm 38 years old. I can play some things, but I'm not good as I would like to play. So, one thing I would say, and I'm not kind of reading into this at all, is one of the things that you need to do to improve is to have at anything. And one of the things I always suggest to people who I don't suggest it, I strongly recommend it, right, is that you have a minimum viable commitment, okay? So a minimum viable commitment is just what is the smallest amount of time you can apply to the thing that you want to do. Usually this is to do with sitting in front of your computer and making music, but also apply it to playing guitar. So what's the minimum viable time that you can spare as if your life depended on it, on practicing things that are going to improve your playing, not noodling about, not messing about, but actually doing deliberate, not purposeful practice, but deliberate practice where there's a goal, there are aims, there are objectives in achieving that goal, and the thing that you're doing, you've broken it down into small little pieces of objectives, okay? And you're giving yourself a time limit on kind of practicing these. So what would be the minimum viable commitment? I know we're all busy doing jobs and stuff like that. I mean, luckily for me, my job is music, so like I have a lot of time to do bits and bobs of practice, but sometimes I don't, and I have to do these what I call micro practices. And a micro practice is about just identifying one small problem and practicing it 30 seconds, 1 minute, like intervals during the day. And it's just always in the front of my brain to kind of practice this one, usually a mechanical problem. So minimum viable commitment, you create that and you've got a time. But actually what you need to do is you need to make your practice sessions into a habit. And habits have like a trigger, and then they'll have like an end or a reward at the end of it. So you can set your trigger. So the trigger is usually something, you'll do your guitar practice if you attach it to something that you do every day. So usually my music making and live streaming happens first thing in the morning. And one of the things about that is basically it happens after I just wake up. So I'm going to wake up every morning for now anyway. So it's just automatic for me to kind of switch everything on and sit here and then start doing my live stream, which is my main sort of priority at the moment, or doing these streams, whether it's guitar stuff or music production related or coaching related, that's what I'm doing. And I have a minimum viable commitment to pretty much turn up every day and do this. And if I'm not here, then I'll use that time to create music, practice music. So if you haven't got like an hour and a half, and say I wasn't doing the streaming, you could set yourself a minimum viable commitment of just 10, 15 minutes to do that one thing every day, and you will get progress. And the other thing about that is if you're struggling to pick the guitar up and play it because you think, oh, it's too much hassle, by forming a habit through this trigger to bounce off, you're more likely to pick the guitar up and find it easier as you go along. It's a bit like going to the gym, really. Not that I would know, but I've heard that once you build the habit of going to the gym, it's great. But when you miss a session, it's like, ugh. And that's kind of what you want. You want to just find yourself picking the guitar up for your minimum viable commitment without even thinking about it. And that's when you know a habit's working. Usually takes about 2 weeks to do this. So minimum viable commitment, attach it to something that you do every day. And then when you've done your minimum viable commitment, if you want to continue on playing, then just play. You've got your guitar in your hand and you're flying along. So just keep playing for as long as you can play. And then after your session finishes, be good to yourself. Do something nice. Because sometimes if we've just got 15 minutes to practice something and we're not making much progress, we do have as human beings as a tendency to beat ourselves up, which we don't necessarily want to do. What we want to do is we want to remember the experience as a good thing. So just do something nice, cup of coffee, walk around the park for me. You just kind of reinforces the experience in your brain subconsciously as being a good thing. All kidding aside, have inspiration and set aside a time for every day. What I would say though, Enzo, I don't wait for inspiration. I sit down and do the thing and inspiration comes. It's always in that order. I don't feel sometimes inspired to be here, believe it or not. But I come here and I switch the cameras on and, studio session means I don't really have any ideas, okay? But I'm just going to turn up. And then what happens is inspiration happens. Remember what I say about the Greek gods, the muse, the women who reward you with good ideas if you're prepared to sit down and do the work. So you sit down and do the work and inspiration will come. Like, I don't get onto the whole thing of, oh man, I've got to wait to be in flow to do something. If writing music was your job and you had to do it every day, you wouldn't wait to be inspired to sit down. If that's how you're making your money, you would just basically sit down, do the work, and inspiration comes. I can safely say that that's the majority of the time. Of course, there's sometimes I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to get in the studio and do stuff, which is great, and you're inspired to do it. But then unfortunately then the session can dip, can't you? You can lose that feeling by things not working out the way it does. So it's quite unreliable. What you do need to do, the one thing that's reliable is that you want to make music. So you just have to sit or practice, sit and do the thing, and then the inspiration will happen. We need to work on those shoulders, Tim, like Thomas said. No, I'm not going to work on the shoulders. The shoulders stay the way they are. Anytime. So if you're on here new, please thumbs up, like, subscribe, or like and sub. I'm from Brazil, but I live in the US. When I was young, I had no guitar because it was expensive. Now I have my dream guitars and I'm trying to practice more. That's great. And that's what it is, it does come down to practice, doesn't it? All right. Any more questions? Oh, look. Rich Quick, how are you doing? Oh, hi, Rich. Rich is also one of the other coaches that was trained by Mike Monday. So it's good to see him on here. Yes, and Rich Quick also has his own Twitch channel in which he does electronic shredding. He's a very accomplished musician, and he's got like all these like fancy bits of like electrons, isn't it? You can use your electrons and you can like sequence and you make whole tracks out of them. And sometimes, because he'll not know this all the time, I'll tune in and start shredding over the top of his music. So for the guitarists out there, catch Rich, but make sure you've got a guitar in your hand and then play over his music, because it's like a ton of fun and very inspiring. Hope you don't mind that, Rich, me playing over the top of your music. I do listen as well. I'm not just blaring scales at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Yeah. So, use Rich's channel to shred on over electronic music. But it's very inspiring what he does. That whole live electronic thing going on there is brilliant. I'm trying to think what I've been talking about. What have I been talking about? I've been doing like a little less. I've been doing some lessons, Rich. Believe it or not, teaching. But there has been a need. Thank you for the knowledge, my friend. I appreciate you. That's awesome, Rich. I play over his music now. Where can I find it, Rich? What you want to put you? It'll actually be if you go to Twitch and you type in Rich Quick. There you go. Oh, I'm going to play a track. It's like a Tuesday morning, and let's rock. Let me just grab something. There we go. Oh, get my foot still. And off we go.
I don't wanna do it no more. I don't wanna do it no more. Got me crying. I don't
All right. Bit of morning shred. So, were there any other, because obviously we've been talking about chords today, were there any other sort of questions that anybody's got on this subject? Oh, you got to go pick the wife up. Right, got to pick the wife up from work. Thanks for the stream. Take care. All right, enjoy. It'd be great having you on here. Some serious shred there. Thank you. Yeah. So, any questions about what you've been through this morning? Don't know where that came from. So I'm glad that worked, actually. That was my live looper that I'd set up. Time to audition, yeah. I think I'll wait to be asked. What do you think? I'll work up to it. It's a bit like the music my daughter listens to, but usually has like some kind of like weird kind of vocals on it. But anyway, I'm down to my last coffee now. The black thermos flask I had when I first started doing the streams was the best one. I can't get it. These are all just not as good. Okay. So I think it's been a pretty good session. I hope the stuff I was doing on chords has cleared up some basics and all of that. So there's no morning stream tomorrow because I've got to get up early and do some video editing, believe it or not. And then I've got, what else have I got? Oh, and I was going to do an evening stream on Wednesday, which I can't do. So the next time I'm on is going to be Thursday morning. So we're looking at the Thursday morning stream, Friday morning stream, and then Saturday evening is the schedule. So we're going to do a Saturday evening stream around about 7 o'clock for a couple of hours. Oh, there's Texas Jackson. Hello. So yeah, there's some off tomorrow, and yeah, Thursday's the next stream. Cool, eh? Right, so I think I'm just about going for my walk now, and it's been, yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I'll see you all Thursday. All right, bye for now.